Bite Me.
Hello and welcome to Bite Me. I'm Julia Stier.
And I'm Bukola Ogunmola.
And I love vampires.
And I do not.
And guys, I think this is like proof that we've kind of been off of it a little bit, because what we're watching today, I think came out a year ago, and we were so hyped about it coming out, and then we just missed it.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell them what we're going to watch?
We are watching Vampire Academy.
The TV show.
On Peacock.
So, we reviewed the Vampire Academy a couple episodes ago. I don't even know.
Yeah.
We kind of... Math's not our strong suit.
Yeah. I don't know when that episode came out, that when we reviewed that, but yeah, it's been a little while.
And we loved it. We hated it. We loved it and hated it. We were like
Zoe Deutsch. She
carried it, and I don't think she's gonna be in this one. I think this is a whole new cast of characters. And I do believe, from what we saw from the blurb, that it is picking up from the beginning. This is not like the movie came out and we didn't continue, so we're gonna... I'm sorry, I can't get over how much I look like Elizabeth Holmes right now.
You can't see her, but if you're like watching this on like Instagram, on YouTube, or you're seeing this clip on Instagram, she looks like Elizabeth Holmes.
I've got like a black turtleneck, white skin.
Yes.
Bright red lipstick, and that's like all you could see. I'm sorry, I got distracted by my own ghostliness.
It's fantastic. I really love. She's giving you vampire. You know,
she's committed to the bit.
She's committed to the bit.
Anywho, back to Vampire Academy.
Yeah.
I remember thinking the movie was okay. Like, it wasn't like I liked it because I loved
the books. Same.
But yeah, and I think this one could have been interesting had it been like, the first book was a movie and then they picked it up with the TV show, because they a lot of times they do the opposite. It's like, it's a TV show and they wrap things up with a movie, and I think that could have been interesting to be like, it started as a movie and then went into a TV show. But it kind of seems like they're doing the Buffy thing of, Buffy was a movie and then a TV show that started from the beginning and like
all over,
kind of stuck to the movie, kind of not.
Yeah. It's its own thing. So they're doing like, I would say I can't even say it's a spin-off of the movie. It's
Correct.
It's its own
thing.
It lives in its own universe. It's kind of like the Spider People.
What?
You know, like Spider-Man, the multiverse, and there are different Spider people and different Spider-Verses. The people knew what I was talking about.
I'm sorry, you said the Spider People, and my brain went Spiderwick Chronicles, and I was like,
how did you get there?
I don't know. I heard Spider. I'm going off like 4 hours of sleep.
She is.
Last night was St. Patrick's Day.
It was.
And,
I didn't leave the house.
No, it was extremely white. It was like we went to a bar and they played Linkin Park.
I love Linkin Park.
Do you really?
I do.
I'm gonna cut this part then.
I love Linkin Park. You can't. No. But Linkin Park. There was
That's so funny, because I was like, they're playing all these like white angry boy anthems.
Yeah, like I love Linkin Park. Now,
like I was afraid for my life. I was like, these are angry white boy songs. I was looking around and I was like...
It's so funny because I was just talking to my hairdresser about this morning. I'm like, St. Patrick's Day, it usually don't be Irish people turning up like that. It just be people that just want to turn up, just want a reason to turn up. It's the same thing with Cinco de Mayo. I've never seen... All my Mexican friends are like, we don't celebrate this in the town I'm from. But everybody's like, let's go being extra.
Let's go get margaritas.
All this stuff. And then all my Mexican friends are like, I don't... Like 2 towns celebrate this in all of Mexico.
To be fair though, my Irish descendant friends do celebrate it.
Yes, but they don't turn up. I mean, the people that turn up, it be black people that's like, green beer, let's go, poppin', pop, like looking for a party. It's only because it's the first holiday after like cold.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie though, I saw 2 black people in that Irish pub last night, and a
understandable.
whole bunch of angry white men
playing Danny Boy, and I love Danny Boy. I'm not coming for y'all.
I'm telling you, playing Linkin Park,
playing Linkin Park, Danny Boy, the Cranberries. I love the Cranberries.
Wait, Danny Boy's like a beautiful song. There was no Danny Boy. Danny Boy is too clever.
I think we should look at the lyrics to Danny Boy.
Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes were calling. That's like singing to your lover on the Glen. They're in a grave. Okay, this has nothing to do with Vampire Academy.
But back to Vampire.
They're like hella Russian in that movie.
They are. That's so true. Anyway, now that we have descended into a conversation that no one warranted,
We can blame that one on Elizabeth Holmes.
Yeah. It was. Yep. Who may or may not be Irish. I don't know. Anyway,
I just meant she's here today in spirit.
Okay. But
we can also cut that part because that didn't make sense. I told you 4 hours of sleep. I'm so tired.
I love this. It's gonna and that's what we're gonna continue to blame. But Vampire Academy. So I read the books. I enjoyed the books.
I loved the books.
The movie.
I forgot you'd actually read the books.
I
thought you were a hater.
I'm not a hater. I used to love vampires. And then I realized what it was doing to my psyche and my dating life. So then I had to go against it. Me and my therapist have decided to not use that as examples. Shout out to Nicole. Nicole is not even my therapist anymore. So
well, you know what? But she started the conversation. But you know what? Bukola has sent me this meme. I think either Bukola has sent it to me 4 times or 4 different people have sent it to me, and it's like, the reason that you are obsessed with vampires is because you want to be so important to someone that you're literally their life, like what keeps them alive.
I've not sent this to her.
You literally
I don't remember this. I plead the 17th.
I think in like different forms. I think you've sent me a TikTok, a tweet, and an Instagram meme. And then you told my mom.
Probably. Okay, that feels right. Shout out to Catherine. Hi, Catherine.
And Randy is now apparently listening.
Hi, Randy. Now we just got to get Beatrice and Richard on.
I thought Richard listened to an episode.
Yes.
Richard told us he listened to an episode?
Who knows? We'll find out. He hasn't come from my neck. I should call him. Anyway, Beatrice and Richard are my
If you called him more, he would probably listen.
That's true. R&B are my parents, so... Anyway.
R and C are mine.
Oh,
RB, RC.
RC Cola, R&B, hip hop and R&B.
Yeah, RC Cola, you can tell they're from the Midwest.
How do I even know that?
I don't know. You pulled that out of somewhere.
I know. Wow. Look at me. Cultured.
Are these new glasses? They're really cute.
They are new glasses. Thank you so much for noticing.
They have little bows. Like mountains.
They're little cat ears, actually. Or they're squiggles. They didn't say in the description. Anyway, these are new glasses. I'm, trying to be on my smart girl-ish.
She looks it. And she talks it. She is a smart girl-ish.
She is a smart girl. Should we read the description for Vampire Academy?
Yes.
You have to grab your phone because I don't have mine.
I thought you were reciting it in the living room. I thought you were memorizing it.
You thought I was memorizing it?
You are an actor.
And? Oh my gosh. So shout out to me. I did a little guest star. And
oh wait, real quick, can I just say I pulled up the wrong thing and it says Vampire Academy, original title Vampire Academy, the officially unofficial fan series.
Ooh.
I think we need to watch this at some point.
That sounds fun.
But I'll go find the real one. But continue with your story.
But yeah, your girl, not to say that I don't learn lines. I'm just one of those people that I fully will till opening night. I'm like, man, I don't know my lines, and it's gotten to the point where stage managers have been like, you know your lines. Stop being dramatic. And I'm like, but that's what they pay me for. But I just keep reading it until the lines are just in me. So you can say lines back to me and I'll be like, are those words that I say? It really gets in there. Yeah. Anyway, that's how I learn lines, a little bit about my process. Do you have it now?
I have it.
Okay, great.
From executive producers Julie Plec and Marguerite McIntyre comes a story of friendship, romance, and danger. Ooh. In a world of privilege and glamour, 2 young women's friendship transcends their strikingly different classes as they prepare to complete their education and enter vampire society. One as a powerful royal, the other a half-vampire guardian trained to protect against the savage Strigoi. Ooh. Strigoi,
yeah.
Who threaten to tear their society apart. That is, if royal infighting doesn't do the job first. And we're watching the pilot. Yes. That is, with their lives upended by tragedy, Rose's place is uncertain as Lissa faces a new role in court. Ooh. So, basically that is what we see in, the beginning of the film. So yeah. I wonder how they're going to break this up. I wonder if it's going to be 1 season per book. I wonder if it's going to be did you read the Vampire Diary books at all?
No.
Okay, so I had watched a bunch of the show, went back and tried to read one of the books, and it's vastly different.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder if this is going to, start off rooted in the book and then just, become, truly become its own thing.
Yeah.
Or if it's going to, stay true.
Stay true to the book.
And I don't know which one I prefer, to be honest.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the books, but I'm not going to lie, I don't fully remember them, but I do remember there being enough, there's enough, drama that I would like to see.
Yeah.
That's the thing, too, is, I would be okay if they went in a different direction. That being said, I do think the books were so dramatic and like that they would actually kind of be doing themselves a disservice if they didn't follow the books. Like it gets dark.
It gets dark and
really
quickly
dark.
too.
Yeah, actually.
I remember the books for me did not have as much detail as was in the movie. Like there was like,
interesting.
You know what I mean? Like there was just little stuff that like the writer wrote as if you were an intelligent legit, you were an intelligent reader. So there were blanks that you had to fill in with your own imagination, which I appreciated because I read it at a young age where things are usually handed.
Wait, can you give me an example?
So like some of the descriptions of the people, it wasn't like like some of them is like they're pale and blah blah blah, but like I don't think that they were racially specific or the backgrounds came from anywhere. They all kind of converged in this one space, and it was like this person was handsome and blah blah blah, like descriptions that like handsome to me is not handsome to you.
Right.
So I could easily kind of use my imagination to think of these people. And that was part of what the disappointing part of for the movie was, because everybody's imaginations was so different, because the author gave us gave us space enough to imagine with them.
Well, I remember you told me that a lot about Harry Potter. You're like, based off of description alone, Hermione is black. You're like, and then to see this white girl, you were like, wait, that's not.
I didn't understand. Homegirl got her hair straightened in 4th year. No offense, nobody. When you straighten your hair, I'm like, oh, your hair looks cute. When I straighten my hair, people are like, wait, where are we going? What are we doing? Why is your hair straight?
There's also a difference. I don't get my hair straightened. I straighten my
your
hair. There is a difference.
I mean, I
you
sat
have
in a
to
chair
go
for 3
get
hours.
It. Yeah.
Like,
I plug something in and I take my few pathetic whiffs that I call hair and I go.
And I could do that too, but it just won't hit the same. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just in my mind, I was like, oh, Hermione got a perm for the dance.
Yes.
And we're excited about it. But that's just me putting myself into it, obviously.
And you know what's so funny that you bring that up specifically with this one? Because I think there were people upset at the diverse casting. This is a very diverse, from what I've seen, it's a very diverse show. And I think I do remember people being like, wait, but Rose isn't that, and Lissa doesn't look like that. So I'm glad you brought that up, because you're like, well, no. You just, like, because it doesn't fit your imagination, or because now they're basing it off the movie, because the movie went ahead and just plugged in a bunch of white people.
Yeah.
And so now people are like, oh, these are white characters.
Yes, it is.
Again, they're vampires.
Yeah, they're vampires. They don't exist. Oh, why are you mad? We all want to play pretend. Dang. Anyway.
But yeah, so I mean, it's I'm glad you bring that up, because I mean, we're seeing it so much right now.
Yes.
With the Little Mermaid. And it's like, y'all.
Yeah, it's not that serious.
It's a talking half fish.
It's a talking half fish.
I will say, you know what is kind of disturbing about the Little Mermaid is, did you see the trailer?
No. Yes, I did.
The flounder and the talking seagull are actually kind of scary. I was not prepared
for the liveness of the live action. Yeah.
I was so here for Ariel. I was so here for Ursula. And then because they made flounder look like a fish, like a real fish. And I was like, that's disturbing.
Yeah. Have y'all seen The Little Mermaid recently? That shit is stressful. It is stressful. That used to be my favorite movie. And now I'm like, yo, this is, I also
have so many questions, because I read something recently that was like, The Little Mermaid with music by Alan Menken and Lin-Manuel Miranda. I'm like, are they... What?
I think they're remixing. I think they're adding some songs in, and I think Lin might be a character.
Lin is gonna go off.
I'm very excited for it. You know what is interesting? I'm not usually here for the live action Disney remakes, but like they bring so much joy to people that I'm like, oh great, but I'm not rushing to go watch.
I'm rushing to go watch that one. Are you kidding me? I've been so curious how they would do a live action Little Mermaid. I want to know. I mostly just want to see how they do the underwater stuff.
Yes,
because I remember like that being a thing where people were like, oh, they're doing a bunch of remakes, but they can never do a Little Mermaid one because that's so hard. And then the Pirates of the Caribbean came out that had mermaids.
Oh,
and it showed mermaids underwater, and people suddenly were like,
oh, we could do
we
this.
might be able to do this.
Yeah.
And then, but even then, they didn't speak underwater. It was like it was like this weird CGI real water, but everyone's like, oh, okay, but they're not speaking, so like we're not, because like the biggest question I have about the new Little Mermaid, will there be air bubbles every time she talks?
No, that'll be distracting. No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
So you're gonna tell me that there can't be a black Little Mermaid, but there can be a world where people talk underwater and don't breathe. Like that, people's argument. Not you.
I understand.
I meant like the arguments people are coming up with. I'm like, and we're gonna fight about like.
Yeah.
There's so many. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's some valid points that are being made. Some people are talking about how like it's like, oh well, redheads are feeling like, you know, they were seen in a certain light, but I'm like, you have Merida. We just gotta wait 2 more years for her. Okay? Just 2 more years. We're not gonna whitewash Merida. I promise. If that happens, I will write Disney myself for you, babes. I will. Me, myself. Julia will sign her name on the letter too.
I also feel like The Little Mermaid did not represent redheads, because I told a redhead that she wasn't a real redhead because she didn't look like Ariel when I was like 6.
Wow, Julia.
You know what I mean?
Respect.
I was like, you don't have red hair, you got orange hair, Paige.
Stop. Sorry, Paige.
I would still remember that moment.
Sorry,
she has beautiful red hair. She's a stunning, beautiful woman, but I was like, you're not a redhead. I've seen redheads. Her name is Ariel. No last name.
No last name. Oh my gosh. No, but anyway, back to
back to the show
Academy.
we're actually watching today.
So like, and don't get me wrong, I haven't read this book in maybe like 15 years. So like, I might be wrong in this, or maybe it's just, you know, thinking back, but I just remember it not being as filled in as a Twilight. So Twilight was very filled in. I knew what was happening. I knew what these people looked like. I knew, and the movie didn't disappoint because I wasn't expecting anything but what I got. Whereas like Vampire Academy, I thought that there was space. And now I'm seeing it as space. Before I was like, they didn't do it right. And it's like, no, it's not that they didn't do it right. It's that they don't see the world the same way I do. And that's okay. So I don't know if I would be a lot kinder to it now.
And now I'm curious about the casting of this one, actually. Or is that something we should talk about in
post?
Yeah. Should we go watch it?
Let's go watch it.
Oh, yeah, no, Rose is black. And Lissa is not white?
I don't know if, Rose might be black and Lissa might not be white.
No, Rose is definitely black.
Right? Maybe. I don't know.
We're looking at a picture.
She might be Dominican. She might be Dominican.
But
she might be
Afro-Latina.
Well, yeah, but like some people
I actually don't know. Does that?
No. But like some Afro-Latinos don't like being categorized as black.
That's a can of worms.
Yeah, and that's a can of worms.
That is above our pay grade.
That's true. That's very true. And I like, you know,
pay if you want her to talk about it, pay her. That is not free.
But yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know, maybe, and like we'll find out soon, because it'd be really cool just to like, and maybe I don't know that we'll find out soon.
I don't know that she'll state it.
Yeah, or if we see like her parents, you know what I mean? And
but
it's she might be mixed.
Dead? Oh, I don't think we'll see the dad.
Oh, we're not supposed to see the parents because that's the whole thing.
But we do see the mom eventually.
But it's not going to be in episode 1.
No, right? She doesn't have.
Her
dad's a vampire.
Her dad's a vampire. She's halvesies.
Halvesies.
Yes. Okay, well, we'll find out soon. We'll
watch reread these books. Like every time we go to review this, I'm like, wait, those books smacked. No, slammed. Those books slapped. There it is. I'm so tired that we had to go through a couple iterations.
My fellow Gen Zers and I are like, wow, ma'am. Wow.
Not slay.
But anyway, we're gonna go watch it. If you have Peacock, go check it out. And if you don't, just listen to us talk about it in like 2 seconds.
And live vicariously through us.
Yes.
Bite me.
And we're back. Keep on.
I'm a little mad.
Why?
I'm having a very hard time separating this from the book.
Okay, yes.
And almost nothing matched up. Like
nothing.
There was like a couple things. It does, you know, Lissa's family does die in the beginning.
Yes. We
but,
get to see them though.
Oh, that was a little intense.
So that was really intense. Even that, like, watching them be happy for those 2 seconds really really rocked my socks. Excuse me.
This is so terrible. I didn't need it. I really liked seeing them on the run, seeing them living their life as, like, 2 girls, like, outside of the confines of, like, what they've kind of been raised to do. I realize, looking at myself right now, I look like a Strigoi.
Oh, yeah, you do.
I'm, like, super pale, random bursts of red.
Yeah.
And then all in black. Okay, anyway. Here's my, like, quick run-through of the things I didn't really care for. Christian and Lissa are, like, already in love. There was no, like, and that's something that we always talk about. We're like, we love a slow burn. Yeah. That's what we like about the TV shows, is that you get the slow burn between characters who are falling in love. And I think the slow burn here is going to be more of Dimitri and Rose.
If that even happens.
If it even happens. Not the Christian and the Lissa. Because that was kind of supposed to be this, like, fun, like kind of enemies to lovers, but they're just, like, already super into each other.
Yeah.
It's like something we said it was kind of like Bridgerton meets Interview with a Vampire. Yeah. It's very stylistic, and it's very trying to be stylistic, which I don't love in this instance. I think Bridgerton did it really well. I think this one, I think it's just really hard that there's so much prior IP.
Yeah.
That
you're playing compare and contrast.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. Yeah, like, you keep playing compare and contrast.
And no one had chemistry. I didn't see chemistry between Rose and Dimitri. I didn't see chemistry between Christian and Lissa. There's also so many characters that they say their name once.
And then you're just supposed to know who they are.
Yes.
There was chemistry between Rose and Mace.
Yes, they had crazy good chemistry. Yeah. And he ends up being, like, the friend that she, like, turns down. And one thing I will say that drives me a little, like, not crazy, because maybe this will resolve itself in later episodes, but, like, as people who know the books and know the movie, I was picking up on Easter eggs that there might not have actually been Easter eggs. Like, so for example, they show Lissa's brother in the beginning hooking up with this girl, and he's like, "Sorry, Tatiana." In the book, Tatiana is the name of the queen. So I was like, oh my gosh, he's, like, hooking up with the next queen. And then out of nowhere, Lissa is named as, like, the heir to the throne. And then the other thing is, too, is I think her brother had, like, teased Mia, or maybe they had dated or something. There was some weird Mia connection in the book, and in this one, she's his ex-fiance.
She's not his ex-fiance. She's his current fiance.
Well, he's dead.
Well, that's not an ex. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was supposed to marry her, and now he is
dead. But I wouldn't say that he's still her fiance. I would say that he's her ex-fiance.
He's her brother's fiance. I don't know if I would past tense it in the way that, because it's not like they broke up.
Right. He's just not alive.
Yeah. I understand.
Which I feel like.
But you don't, like, I feel like that's
not true. You wouldn't say my ex-husband. You would say my
late husband.
Yeah. So it's her late fiance.
There we
You're
go.
right. Okay. I concede.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of things that I realized we didn't do, like, what we were expecting, but just to, like, touch on some of the tropes that they did do is, sunlight still burns them, though apparently a light parasol is enough to...
Feathery parasol.
Parasol is enough to make it not, be a thing. They do still drink blood. They did keep it to there being, like, volunteer feeders, which I thought was interesting, and I remember that was something from the book, too. It's like, they find people who are, like, taking someone's blood is, like, supposed to be, like, kind of euphoric. So, like, they kind of have, like, drug addicts. But that was something that I feel like they didn't set up, is that, like, one of the big, like, taboos in the book is that while they were on the run, Lissa drank from Rose. And that was supposed to be kind of like a big taboo thing, and, like, another thing that gets them in trouble, and they just, like, completely skipped over that. We don't get to see these two girls, like, survive on their own at all. And I'm wondering if that's gonna happen in the second episode, because I do wonder if, like, now that she's been named, like, Lissa has been named as heir to the throne,
they're gonna run
she's
away.
gonna panic, or, like, then they'll be like, she's not safe here, someone's, like, trying to get her.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, you said you liked it.
I liked it because I think that with the IP that we have, I think it's feeding in slowly. So I think that later on they're going to run away because the threat hasn't come up for them to run yet. So we had, the threat was like the Strigoi were after them in the beginning in the original IP, but we only saw one Strigoi come after them. Dimitri saved Rose and Lissa. I was gonna call her what is her whole name? Vasilissa.
I think. Right? Vasilissa.
Yeah. So but saved
which means
them.
unicorn in Old Moroi.
It doesn't actually mean unicorn. It was just like a really cute.
No,
thing.
it does.
Oh, does
I
it?
think in the book.
Oh,
I think.
Oh, that's sweet. I don't remember that.
I
thought that
fully
Christian was
remember
being
it either,
cute.
but I think that's why Rose got her the unicorn.
Oh, nice. Okay, and then she gave that unicorn to Christian. But yes, so
it's like way to re-gift.
I know. Well, hey, it's not like they can go to the gift shop anyway. True. So I actually like it because it feels like there is now a reason for her to run. So like the way that episode ended is that Rose woke up in a panic because she is connected to Lissa in a way we don't know yet. So it might be from bloodletting, like drinking from another time that we don't know about, that we'll see a flashback. And I was saying too, I was like, there is like 2 minutes in, Julia's like, who's this? And I was like, I think we need to look at this as if it's its own thing. And she was like, no, but I'm confused with the story. And I'm like, I think that we should look at this as if it's its own thing.
That's true. That's true, because like they say like Sonia Karp originally was a teacher and now she's like Mia's sister or something.
Yeah. So like it's a lot. Mia is also the girl from Persuasion that plays Dakota Johnson's sister. She was the best part of that movie. She's so obnoxious. Her voice is annoying, like in a good like actor way, in a way that is like propels the story
in a way
forward.
That's a compliment.
It is a compliment. It is so a compliment because like I would love to act opposite of her because she just is like fantastic. It is a standalone thing. I don't think that it has anything to do with anything else.
Yeah.
And I think it stands well alone. So you said I think that the Easter egg is actually true. So we saw Tatiana. The reason the name Tatiana even came out is because the to-be king, which was Andre, which was Lisa's brother, was having sexy time. So we saw his butt. But they were having sexy time.
So I didn't know Peacock could show that. I thought they were still considered like NBC.
They might be,
cable.
They might be Habbo Maxing it.
Booties are out on NBC.
Woo. But yeah, so we saw them, and then she literally says, "Never leave a woman without finishing." I don't know if that was the actual words, even for the queen, but like something like that.
I came up with a really dumb joke. NBC, no booty censoring.
Wow. Good job.
That was really
Julia.
fun. I sat here and I thought about that.
And
Continue.
No. It was something.
Andre and Tatiana.
But Andre and Tatiana, but if she's pregnant, then his child is technically next in line. So there has to be a reason why we saw that sex scene, because she doesn't come up at all the rest of the episode.
She was that girl at the very end, wasn't she? Who like made the face?
Yes. So she is around the royals. She knows them.
She is
People
royal.
know her. She is royal herself. So it might be a way for Lissa to not have to be queen, but also to carry on the bloodline and not through Lissa. And so that the baby has.
But that would be very diverting from the books.
Yes, fully. But then again, there was no sex in the books.
Yes, there was.
But not
was so much sex.
No,
in the
but
books.
like in a YA way, not in the way that we just saw. We've been building up tension for weeks and we don't know what to do about it way.
Yeah,
they made eye contact and found a broom closet.
And they were like boom, boom, boom.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like and
like literally, it was like a coat closet.
It was literally a coat closet. They made eye contact and then we saw them in a coat closet. So I was just like, oh. Okay.
Which the brother's kind of sketchy because he was with his fiance, left.
Yes.
Went and hooked up with somebody.
But the fiance knew that she didn't like him. They didn't like each other.
They were like a marriage of royal convenience.
Yeah, they were.
Well, she's also not. Mia is not royal, and they've mentioned it a lot that's a big issue. It's like she's not royal. She's not royal. She's like feels like everyone's talking down to her, and I think that's where I was getting confused is because I feel like they said something in the beginning that the other like Mia shows up in a car
with the black guy who's like an uncle.
An uncle of
we don't know
Lissa
who he is. Yeah,
or of Mia's.
who knows? But he was with Mia.
He was with
in
Mia
the car.
and then
So
I think
must
he
be
had
connected.
royal eyes, right? And
No, he did.
I thought him. That's where they lost me. Is that they
Royal,
they talk
two
about this
something.
big plot point,
Yeah.
and they go through it too fast that I can't tell you now. Like it's like I'm like, did everyone in the car have?
No, it was one royal. The security
Sonia.
card said one royal and then two non.
I thought he said the opposite. I thought he said 2 royals, 1 non-royal. That's where I got confused.
So
and
then-
Mia was like, "This is humiliating that I still have to like
do this."
And she flashes her eyes, and if
She
they're
says non.
purple, they're non, and if they're yellow, they are. Here's my thing: I have never once seen them do good CGI on eyes.
Oh.
Every single time we watch a vampire movie where they do something with their eye, it's always something stupid, and this was honestly included. Remember, I feel like we've seen a lot where they're like having to do the
red eyes.
not the red eyes, but the because red eyes you can just do with contacts, which that can be iffy.
Yeah.
But when they do not the persuasion, but the where they're like mind controlling, and, and their like eyes like weirdly flash. I feel like we've always been like, that was weird.
I like this eyes.
You liked this one.
I did.
I thought it did not work.
I feel like it wasn't overboard. It was just like a swing.
I feel like it was so overboard.
Really?
Her eyes were like glowing purple, and she was like,
for like 2 seconds. And then
I
it
just
went
thought it was
away
a dumb plot
immediately.
point.
It literally was like shrink. And it was kind of like a eye scan. And it was just like, whoop, bye. And nobody else. And it would have been overboard if it was all the time.
That's
or
true.
if it's that's how they manipulate people and stuff like that. It literally is just like okay, having a conversation with somebody else. I think this is really well done. I think that you might be comparing it too much to the original IP and are disappointed.
I think
it doesn't show, just like we were talking about. It doesn't show up in the same way that you wanted it to. So then it's like not as a standalone. If this wasn't IP that already exists, I think we would enjoy it more. And they would have a lot more explaining to
I will say though, yes, I agree with you on the explaining. I will say I don't know that I would enjoy it more because I didn't love First Kill. And that doesn't have prior IP that I know of.
Yeah.
And it felt very much in the similar style.
Okay.
Of kind of this like CW overboard like not this like CW over stylized vibe, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And then also, I wonder if because you're right, it's been a while since the books came out. Mm-hmm. And by the time the Vampire Diaries books came out, by the time the Vampire Diaries TV show had come out, I think it had been a while since the books came out. And I think that's what's happening here too, is they're relying on the fact that people haven't read the book. Yeah. Because it's for the new age, new generation.
The new generation don't know what that is. So like it also is not for our age group. Let's be honest. Like,
is it not though? Because I do still feel like we are the people who recognize it. Like that's where I'm torn. Who is this made for?
It's for the teens. It's not for us. Because yes, we are the people that recognize it, but like they're trying to sprinkle in some stuff that'll be fun for us, but even their love interests aren't appealing to us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm looking at the adults like, ooh, look at you looking like you got a 401k. That's not who it's made for. You know what I mean?
No, that's so real.
The love interests are all children.
Yeah, and Dimitri looks older.
He looks older, but he looks like
like our age.
Older. Yeah.
No, I would say 25 to 30.
Okay.
And he has an not distinct accent. Cannot tell where he's from.
Yeah, that's fun though. I'm just like, hey, he's from English land.
He's supposed to be Russian.
I don't know.
He sounds like Scottish, Irish, British.
Yeah.
Rose is also British.
Rose is also British. Yeah.
She's British, right?
She's just straight up British, and then everyone else is English, which I kind of like.
You mean American?
I mean American.
I can't tell what Lissa is. She sounded like she had a little bit of an accent at times. But I couldn't tell if it was just the crown. I truly may have just seen the crown on her head and said,
she's English.
She's something.
Okay, so we have some notes and then we'll go over ratings. Okay, there was a point where at the beginning party, they put drops of blood in the champagne cups. I thought that was classy as hell. Julia at one point said, no one did their fact checking.
I did?
Yes.
What was I saying that about?
Just in general, because the storylines weren't adding up. That was very early on. And then we gave up on trying to make Bukola gave up on that comparison.
I was really trying to tie it to the book.
She was, and she kept asking me who people were, and I was just like, my memory is not good enough to remember stuff like that. Then we have Bridgerton meets Interview with the Vampire.
Yes, because it had that like old-ish vibe that you get with Interview. It kind of had the campiness of Interview with the Vampire with trying to be modern of Bridgerton. Yeah. Which is why I say Interview with a Vampire and not like Buffy or Vampire Diaries.
Got it, yes.
It was more...
Very specifically.
And with a little bit of First Kill sprinkled in there. Of like, we're trying to appeal to the current teen. Whereas that's the thing I think is different. Bridgerton was trying to appeal to...
Us.
Yes. People who adults. Had been teens and then grew into adults. Yes. Whereas this one... We are adults trying to enjoy something that was made for teens. I think you're right. Yeah. I do think you're right, actually. It's just not for us. Now that I think about it more, I'm like, it's got that very, like, we're Gen Z. We're, like, cool and edgy and, like, we don't care about anything. Like, it's very apathetic.
Yeah.
In a way.
And it was giving very Hunger Games in the shooting style and in, like, some of the, like, technologies used.
Yes, there was this moment where this, like, the queen, who is a fantastic actress.
Love her. She's amazing.
Don't know who she is. She's great. Amazing. We'll look her up later. But she does like a what's it, Effie? What's the name of the
like a very Effie.
Effie, where like she's on a screen and she's like, "Hello, ladies and vampires." Like,
yeah,
I know how to throw one hell of a party. Like, She's great.
She's great. She's fantastic. In the beginning, there was some like weird framing and shots, and it was super funky. I really liked it because it showed what it feels like to be at a party, where it's kind of like everything's a little bit disjointed, a little bit tilty, and then it's more like they were thinking back to the party, so it's kind of like almost choppy in memory.
Also,
it was cool.
I forgot at that party, because they haven't even mentioned this yet, but they gave us a lot of sneak peeks. They have not even mentioned the elemental magic at all.
Oh, yes.
But you see one guy stirs his martini without touching it. Another guy honestly looks like he's like lighting a bong, because it's like this big, it's this like big boiling
it's like
thing.
A hookah thing.
And he's got his fire that he just like controls from a match.
Yeah.
They mentioned it a little bit when Christian uses his fire to help her see, but like that, like I kind of appreciated that they weren't like, oh, everybody has magic that, connects them to an element. They were just like, yeah, this is the world you're stepping into.
Yes. So they didn't explain anything. You just had to you had to be like, okay. And that's the thing about it I really liked. They were like, you need to pay attention. End of statement. You need to pay attention. If you missed it, you missed it.
Here's the thing. I was paying attention, and I was still confused as to who people were.
That's because you kept trying to compare them to who they were.
To help me track it, though. Because they said it, and I was like, wait, who are these people?
No, but you kept asking, like, this is what happens later. Well, is this is the person that becomes this person, and and I'm like, right now, this is just the dude that is helping the other lady.
That's true.
Okay, costume design, 10 out of 10. Everybody looked amazing. There was this one little ascot that they put on Christian that didn't make him look very good.
That did him dirty.
But that's
Gave
the
him a
only
weak
thing.
chin.
Yeah, they also lit him very badly in that first scene that we were like, ew. But they did him better. He looked better, and like even the suit, it was a little baggy.
But you were right. They didn't have chemistry, and they were trying.
They were trying,
but I think it was too much too soon.
Yeah. Even the actors were like, we're in love now. This is a lot. Instead of being like, let's feel each other out. You know what I mean? And everybody else is feeling each other out. Because it's just a weird thing to be like, we're feeling each other out, but we're like completely head over heels in love already. Or like Mace and Rose to be more of the...
They explained that they had a history.
They had a history.
They were like,
just
I need you for two things.
Yeah.
One of them's fighting, one of them's other stuff. And
exactly.
I don't need you for fighting right now. And
exactly.
Like,
exactly. So they already have a history. Yeah. They've already been messing around, and he's kind of trying to make it. It was
actually
more.
sweet. Yeah, he was like, I'm not actually here for that right now. I'm really trying to be a good friend and like see if you need to talk because you just got attacked.
Yeah. Like, I want to be a friend for you. And he's
that was probably one of the sweetest moments of the show.
It was really lovely because you're looking at this dude and he's like, he's even can't believe he's like, I can't believe I'm saying this.
And then in the next scene, she's got me and Bukola were laughing. She's got her head in his lap and he's like holding her, and I was like, is he doing Alexander technique on her? Like, he's straightening her neck. He's saying, loosen, be free. Think about the light bulb at the top of your head and the string. Like,
okay, maybe we didn't have We had the same teacher, but Alexander Technique is a part of like our acting training where it teaches you to like how to hold yourself like body wise. So it's all like body training, and there's a point where you have to lay on the floor
and like pull the neck, and he was like literally doing that, and we were like, he was doing that. What? It was
very funny. But I love that instead of us being like, this is a very sweet moment that probably normal people that aren't actors have, we immediately were like,
that's
this
some
must
good
be
Alexander Technique.
Yeah. One more thing that we really love, that I really love, is that they let the feeders talk. It's giving very Game of Thrones because it gives you different levels. So like the feeders,
it's very upstairs, downstairs.
Yes. So Lisa's blood bag person, Lisa's person that she was feeding off of was like, hey, it's a good because somebody had just come up to her and was like, you're gonna vote for my daddy, right? You gonna vote? He was a very white man,
and he was
in my
so
mind,
annoying.
He's like, you gonna vote for my daddy? And
he basically said it like that.
Yeah, she was like, I don't really know who I'm gonna vote for, but like I'll think about it. And he's like, whatever, and then walks away. And then the lady that she's feeding off of was like, good, stay out of it, because
she's like feeders here a
lot. Like you need to stay. Good thing you're staying out of the political sphere of this.
She's like, it's getting nasty.
I was like, thank you, Miss. But I love that they are not just background characters. They are people that are actively listening and seeing. They're not just like, oh, we're so in a daze that we don't notice that shit is going down. The walls of Jericho are falling. They see it, and I appreciate that. I don't know if I would watch the whole series, but I think that there's enough that I'm interested. I would see like episode 2, and I think that that's all you can ask for in a pilot.
I was funny. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I didn't love the pilot, but I also recognize I haven't liked a lot of pilots that I see. And I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe just a lot of information all at once.
Yeah.
I would watch the second one just to see, and you're going to hate this answer, just to see if they get it back on track to the book. You know what I mean? I almost wonder if they were like, hey, we need to give a whole bunch more information before we, like, they probably wanted to introduce the school. They probably wanted to introduce Dimitri. They were probably, like, they were genuinely being good TV writers. Mm-hmm. Like, a good TV writer does introduce all the main characters, like, all the main players, all the main enemies, all the main locations. And then I could see them now going, like, now her running. But I do, so, like, part of me is, like, I actually recognize what they were doing, and they were actually following very, like, basic screenwriting rules. It's just, I'm mad.
Yes,
I'm just mad.
Because you're like, I have this information, make it so that I can jump straight back into the world.
Yeah.
If it was a continuation of the movies, then I would be upset too. But they are literally starting over with a different group of people having to explain this story. So it would make more sense to see the happy family and see what she's lost, to see why she's running from this thing that she never wanted. Like, you know what I mean? It makes her character more understandable
and more fleshed out, I will say.
And more fleshed out, because that's
even in the book we only ever heard her be like, I miss them, and you're like, but why?
Do you?
Well, not but why, they were her family.
Yeah, but like, it's like, do you? Like, I didn't remember she had a brother.
I didn't either. So
unless she didn't, and like that.
No, she did, because I do remember it coming out at one point of like,
this is your brother's
something weird. I don't exactly remember what that relationship in the book was.
But now I'll never forget the brother and his butt.
Because NBC, no butt censored.
Golly, said it again. You said it again. No, but like...
Wait, Peacock is NBC, right?
Yeah, I think so. We'll find out soon. It's okay, they're not sponsors.
They should.
They should, though. Sponsor us, NBC. But,
I don't know that this got picked up for a second season, though. Because IMDb said 2022 to 2022. That's not a good sign.
Yeah. But, full circle. The, is it Holly Bailey? Yes, Holly Bailey. Who was playing the Little Mermaid?
Oh yeah, totally knew.
The boy that plays her boyfriend in Grownish is Mace on this show.
So we knew we went on a tangent for a reason.
Yeah. So like, look at us making a full connection,
full circle.
What would you give this out of 5?
2. I didn't love it. 1 means I'm never watching another episode. 2 is 2.5. 2.5 is like, I could be convinced. That's pretty high. That's a half. That's a half. It's 2.5 out of 5.
Okay.
So I'll you know what? I'm not good at math, as I said before, so I'm gonna go back to 2 because I realize that's a bigger percentage than I.
2 point, yeah.
2 out of 5.
2 would be 40%.
Yeah, so I would watch a second episode. I'm not like running to do it. And for me, it is more dedication to my love of the books and the original IP. And I think I have a really big desire to see it match the book because Hulu is about to make a series out of A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I don't want to see them butcher it like this one is kind of being butchered a little bit. Like, I want to see it.
There's no way they can make A Court of Thorns and Roses on a not like Showtime or Skinamax.
I know the fact that
it is. They're just doing the nasty. It's too much.
Not in the first book.
Okay,
first book's very tame.
Is it though? Is it tame because they gotta slaughter things and like I understand that
right.
I understand that tame means not sex in America, which is hilarious because violence is more like you know.
We're
sex,
like
everyone's
kill him,
doing
but
that,
keep his
but
clothes on.
Killing people exactly. So that's a whole nother thing. But for me, I would give it a 3, maybe a 3.5.
Oh, you really liked it.
And I realized why I'm giving it a 3.5. It's because it was barely about vampires. This is a family drama.
That's so real.
It's not about vampires.
We saw Fangs like 3 times.
They just happen to be vampires, but it has nothing to do with vampire-ness.
This is Game of Thrones with Fangs.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I literally wrote that down. This is Game of Thrones. Giving Game of Thrones. I literally wrote that down. It is giving Game of Thrones with Fangs. There are layers. There's family drama. There's political drama. And that's what is intriguing to me. I want to watch the relationship between the people, the families. I want to see how Christian deals with being ostracized from his community in general because of a decision his parents made, and then try to be with another orphan and be like, I see your struggle. My parents chose theirs. Yours got into an accident, but we're still in the same place. And I think that's why I'm so gung-ho about it. The vampire-ness is barely a level.
You know what I want? What I wanted, as you were saying that, I realized I don't give a crap about any of the political stuff. I want a slow burn romance, and I was denied that.
Yes. See,
so I am mad.
Yeah.
That is why I gave it a 2.
There is no
slow burns.
There is no romances happening yet.
No.
Even like the cute little flirty thing that Rose and Demetrius do. Demetrius just being
They're not flirting.
Her. They're not flirting.
He's literally like, you are a failure.
You
are a failure.
Yeah. And she is. She is. He is being super honest with her. She is. She messed up, and he's like, he was like, being fancy and being cute is nice or whatever, but if your homegirl dies, that's a problem. And I love that because it's not like, ooh, I actually love you and you messed up this one time. He's like, no, you could have got her killed. End of statement.
I wanted it to be a little bit of like tough love though. Like I wanted there to be a little love.
Yeah, no, ain't no love. He's there for work. He's there for work.
And she is still underage at this point. And she is underage. So actually...
So I love that they're
she's
not...
She's like, what, 17?
Yeah.
They haven't said yet. They might just make her 18 so that they can be like, let's not be creepy.
And honestly, that would make me... It's still a very fine line, but that would make me feel better about it. But I think that's exactly what I love about it. That it doesn't have anything to do with vampires. So look at us. Look at us. Look at Bukola knowing herself.
And look at Julia also knowing herself, but maybe not for the right reason.
But yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, and I guess it's not important whether you're vampires or not. It is only important in the status of the world that we're in. But because they're not interacting with humans in a way that is detrimental to humans, then that is not the struggle.
They're like not interacting with humans really, except for the feeders.
The feeders,
they're literally
who are
in their
like
own
they're
world.
Volunteering.
Yeah.
So it really is. Yes, they are in their own little world. So we are not looking for.
It's like a very consensual vampire community.
Yes. But yes, and
why am I laughing at that? That's like a good.
I don't
thing.
know exactly, but the reason I'm ending that is because it is also the thing that we talked about with Nikhil when he came on the show, which is like vampires trying to see if they're humanity and blah 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 and da da da, and that struggle is against the Strigoi. So the vampires are very much like we are civilized humans, and the Strigoi are enemy.
Yeah, the Strigoi chose eternal life. The Strigoi chose strength, and they chose giving up their soul.
Yes. And
in exchange for immortality,
exactly.
superpowers. Yeah.
Yes. And vampires can die. We saw it happen to her sibling and her parents. So like then that takes out are we human enough to be human? They're like, we're not even questioning that. We're not human. We are vampires, but we're not Strigoi.
Yeah.
So like that, it's just a different struggle. So now we just have to watch this political play out. I love it. I like it more than I'm talking about it. And I know she's liking it less than what I'm talking about it, because she's like, what about the love?
I know, but I'm also like, I did not get a political drama from that.
Really?
Yeah, I got camp from that.
Really? They're literally all they're doing is trying
to political drama.
because the dude that you're like, who is this? The uncle, blah blah blah. He's trying to convince Mia to stay close to the future queen. He's trying to convince the queen to make Lise the queen. You have changed Lissa's name every single time you've said it. But no. But he's trying to convince Lissa to make her queen. Like, you didn't. None of that, all of that flew over your head.
Because I spent the whole time being like, who is this character from the book?
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that was the whole plot. The whole plot is that he's manipulating her. I love that you missed the whole plot, because you're like, who's the cute boy that's going to be in love with them?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I love this for us. This is making a lot of sense for our characters.
This is the most fired up I've ever heard Bukola talk about a vampire show, and she literally said, I like it because there's no vampires.
Thank
basically.
you.
I'm a little upset. I'm a little upset.
Don't be upset. It's just,
a little sad.
It is what it is. But yeah, any final thoughts?
Final thoughts is, I do hope that if people watch this, that they go and read the books, because I just to enjoy them. Like, if this piqued your interest, I think you would really enjoy the books as well. But maybe not vice versa. If you enjoyed the books, I'm not sure that you would love this, but I do think if you enjoyed this, you would like the books.
I strongly disagree.
Oh.
I think that if you like this, I'm not sure the books will be satisfying enough because the books are a little straightforward.
You think so?
I think so. I think it's more about the love connections than it is what's happening in the world around them. I think it's more about,
I agree.
I think it's more about the girls being girls and being like, I want to be free and I want to love this man if I want to love him. Whereas this is about the world and how the death of a family is affecting not just the young lady, but the political world around them. And if people in power give power to people that don't deserve it, what happens?
Yeah.
So I think that they are two separate things.
I think you need to be in the writer's room on this. I feel like you really picked up what they were putting down.
Yes. I truly do think that I understand what they were trying to give. And they were trying to give baby Game of Thrones.
Oh, I did not.
They were trying to give baby Game of Thrones with a little bit of camp, doing a little bit of Hunger Games, which is a political drama, and then they had some Bridgerton over the head fight choreography dance movements. Like, I see it. I see the vision. Call me. I write. Call me.
Yeah, honestly,
like,
maybe pass by me on this one. I'm gonna make everybody fall in love. Yeah. She actually is picking up on the political.
Yeah, because and you know it was political when
socio-political.
When Mia and Andre were like, we don't like each other, but we're marrying each other because this is the best move for the kingdom, and this is the best move.
Dominion.
The Dominion for me to be king and Mia to be queen, and she fully would, and she says it to the uncle black guy. When he was like, we didn't love each other like that, but we were good together. Yeah. So she knew she was baby Cersei. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Bite Me.
Oh my gosh, Bite Me is brought to you by players, performers, and portrayers. You can learn more about Bite Me by following us on Instagram at Bite Me the podcast, and you can check out more about players, performers, and portrayers at playersperformersandportrayers.com. I'm Julia.
I'm Bukola.
Bye.